I believe we are live. So,
Hello.
welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in to my Wednesday night live stream. Today, I have Stuart Bonds, member of One Nation, also a huge advocate for coal mining and coal in general, and also controversial to the newspapers. So, welcome to the club, buddy.
Yeah, look, I mean, they don't, they don't shoot at you if you're not bombing over the target, do they? Right? So you've got to be, you know, if you're dropping bombs out in the middle of the bush and you're not hitting anybody, they don't really care, right? It's only when you're getting too close to the truth that they don't like that they start shooting at you. So
Yeah.
if you make it in the newspaper, then you must be attacking the right people.
Yeah, I love that because actually, when you told me on the phone yesterday that you looked me up, I'm like, shit. I prefer people not look me up because people on the right are cucked and they're too afraid sometimes to come on my channel. But you were like, I love that you're considered a Nazi. Awesome. I'm like, cool. So
No,
your
well,
reaction to me was fantastic.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not a literal Nazi. That's the thing, right? So you just the media throws that phase around.
Yeah, I've only
And
killed four
it's really
people.
they've taken away the true meaning behind it, right? Like that is
Yeah,
a
of
very
course.
meaningful phrase, and it shouldn't be misused, and it is, right? And so I don't know what they would actually call Nazis these days that come around because that phrase is so misused, misinterpreted.
Mm.
I haven't copped it, but you have. So
Well, yeah,
no
I'm
one's.
obviously not. I'm obviously not a Nazi, but let's
That's
let's talk about you a little bit. So how long have you been in the One Nation party, and why was One Nation your choice party? Excuse me.
so. I'll rewind back a little bit. So the election was May, I think, last year. So nearly 12 months ago. So probably 12 months prior to that, I I seen this very hard shift from the Labor Party, and I think it was due to some polling that was done down around in the inner cities. Now they seem to have had these rural areas locked down as hard Labor seats for a long time because the Labor
Mhm.
Party traditionally is a blue collar party, right? It fights for your rights at work and so on and so forth, and they have done for generations, right? Perceived to have done for generations. And I've seen them and their wording and their terminology, and it's not just one person in the Labor Party. The entire party shifted to the left and started using the words transition and a movement away from coal, and it's an inevitable change. And using all these fancy words to describe the industry that I was working in. And I'm looking around me and I was thinking, this is just lunatics. Like, they're not going to go with this. And I thought, well, the other parties will really take the sword to them. Well, when I realised that there was no other party that was going to do it, I was a member of One Nation, and I decided to run.
Well
The
done.
guys are a little bit. The guys are a bit. I was like, why do you want to run in that seat? Right, it's the most rusted on Labor seat in the entire country. 109 years of solid Labor in that seat. They've never been defeated.
Yeah.
Um, they've only needed preferences in 5 of 33 elections in the area, right? So usually they finish over 50% straight up. They don't need a single preference.
No.
So so that's why I decided to run, and I believe that we are in a battle of ideas at the moment. There is this socialism. I don't know how, but it's creeping back into the system. As if the 100 million dead bodies from last century weren't enough. We need to try this experiment again, right?
Mhm.
And my problem with it is they are using the environmentalist movement to creep in the back door. And because, I mean, who doesn't care about the environment? What are you, an asshole, right? Like, do
Oh,
you not care about
absolutely.
the environment? And so if you say, well, I support coal mines and whatever, or I do support the environment, but I also want to keep my lights on, right? Then you're instantly labelled a science denier, right? So nobody likes these terms being put on them and the pressure being put on them. And so, like I said, they're using the environmentalist movement, which is a very dishonest way of doing things, to push their socialist agenda, right? And Pauline doesn't put up with that crap, right? She can see straight through it, right?
She's a hard ass.
She is a hard ass, right? And she's a practical person, right? She looks and goes, right, well, coal's it till we got something better to come along, right? And while it's in the ground, we should mine it and we should sell it. We should build the country into a much bigger, better enterprise so that when the coal goes away, the infrastructure is still there. So, and we have some of the best coal in the world, so we should sell it. We're doing a dishonor to the planet to not sell it because people are going to source worse quality coal. The reason they get it from us is because it's the best stuff, right? So with that attitude, that's 100% why I ran for the party, you know. So,
well done. So what do you say?
Well.
Yeah, well, of course, it's the number one conservative. That's a debatable term because unfortunately you guys do support abortion, which I hate, but you guys are the number one conservative party somewhat outside of the Liberal Party, which is just a corrupt, non-conservative party pretending to be conservative. So you guys at least are doing a little better than they are. And I don't mean that as an insult.
Yeah, no. Look, I totally understand. I mean, look, the whole political spectrum has taken a massive swing.
It has
to the left.
The pendulum.
So you're, yeah, that's right. So your traditional Liberal Party members seem to be sticking up and fighting for the jobs of coal miners, which was traditionally, you know, the position of the Labor Party for generations, you know, and you know, and the Liberal Party are quite scared to talk about the issue. You've only got a few MPs that are actually standing up and fighting, but One Nation is your worker man's party now. Now, like, we got huge swings towards us in the coal mining communities, massive swings, and in the rural communities, because the swing to the left has also left the Nationals exposed, where the National Party was always the party of the farmer. Well, the farming's not too popular at the moment either with the Green movement. And so you're getting these farm invasions and so on and so forth. And so the Nationals have even started to abandon their base. And that's one area where Pauline really excels, right? Is in these rural communities.
I love what she said recently about men.
Picked up the slack, you know. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
No. It's okay. I was just saying what she said about men recently, you know, rather than having a go at white straight men, she in fact said, hey, hooray, men. Like, very few females are doing that.
Yeah, no, look, and of course she's just being practical, right? There's nothing controversial about what she said there. I mean, there's no reason to be ashamed if you're a male. There's, you know, we have done great things. I mean, we built some excellent things, you know, and there's no need to be ashamed of that whatsoever.
I was going to ask you about coal. So now a lot of the reasons that I think the left are opposed to coal is because it has it produces, from what I see here, burning coal produces particulates that increase air pollution and health dangers. Burning coal emits large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Air pollution from coal-fired power plants is linked to asthma, cancer, heart, and lung ailments. So what are your thoughts on all of that? What do you know about all that?
True. All right, nobody denies the fact that this happens. That this is a byproduct of burning coal. Right, coal is, you know, pure carbon. So when you burn it, there goes the carbon's back into the atmosphere. The problem with it is that this is the cheapest, most efficient way of generating electricity. Now, if you have a look at a population graph, right, the graph will sort of run along at about 1 billion people for a long time, and then it goes up in a hockey stick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that hockey stick, right, is also, you can follow the amount of carbon that human beings have produced as well, and it follows the same hockey stick. Now, that's because of the Industrial Revolution, right? When we industrialised and we stopped using people out in a field and we got tractors, right? They generated carbon. So instead of having 100 people out in a field, right, you could have one tractor, right? And so that could generate enough food that people could go into the city and they could develop the technologies that we all live with today, the phones, the internet. It freed up labor, right? It allowed us to expand. It allowed us to innovate because we weren't all stuck on farms. I mean, 90% of the population used to be stuck on the farm trying to generate food. The Industrial Revolution allowed us to move off the farms into the cities. Now, carbon carbon dioxide is a byproduct of what we do, right? It's a byproduct
But it exists
of life.
anyway, doesn't it?
Of course, it's a trace element in the air, right? Like it's plant food. So without 150 parts per million of carbon dioxide in the air, your trees will die, right? Flat out die. So trees are always looking to increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the air because they want to eat, right? And so around about, at the moment, I think we have about 400 parts per million. Now, the left, the greenies, whatever you want to call them, they are looking at the data and they're saying that, which what we would argue is a natural warming period in the planet's cycles, right? They are looking at this warming period and they're saying this is because of the carbon that is being put in the air, right? Now, knowing full well that we can't remove this, right? We can't remove it from human civilization because it supports life, right?
Stuart.
If we remove the carbon, down needs to come the human population. So what do? You pay for your sin with taxes, right? You pay for the carbon. And this is just a shadow way of making people pay more taxes to a big global government corporation that will tell you where you can live, what you can do, what cars you can drive, how long you can have your lights on. Right? This is a full-on control mechanism. Right? That's all this is. It's not going to change the weather. It's not going to change the environment. It's not going to change a damn thing.
Yeah.
So I knew all this, and I was hard-lined on this as I can be, and that's why I got so much support in the election.
That's good. Hey, do you think the people in the chats are saying that they can't hear you properly?
They can't hear me properly.
I can.
Can you hear me properly?
I can hear you properly, but I don't know why they're saying that. I mean, only one person said it. So is there anything you can do on your keyboard to turn the volume up?
Maybe.
Earlier they were saying that I was being too loud.
Right. Well, that's the volume adjusted on my system.
And I put it up on 100% on my side too. I don't know what more I can do. I can't talk that softly because I don't have that volume control with my own body.
Yeah. Yeah. No, all good. Well, we'll go on and just let us know if
guys, can you hear everything? Well, it's
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think that's sufficient. I can't tell if they were trolling, but either way, everyone is also saying I look really pale. I have a light right in front of my face because this house I'm staying in is all wooden, and so I wanted to make sure that like the house wasn't too dark. So now I feel like I look really yeah, but that's all right. All right, so let's continue to talk about some of the news headlines. So I'm just gonna go to share screen because I think some of what they say about you is funny. So let's go here. Hang on. This is funny. One Nation candidate says the only thing worse than a gay person with power is a woman.
So that, yeah. So
Come
I
on,
mean,
that's
it's
funny.
funny. It is now because I can look back on it, and so you got to remember. So this all, you become a candidate for the minor parties, right, and smaller parties, and you have to run your own campaign, right? So I said, yep, this is what I'm going to do. I want to run, and you nominate yourself and whatever, and then you've got to go down and you've got to, now every candidate for every party has to do this. They need to remove all the
Yeah.
stuff that you used to have on Facebook, whatever. You've just got to delete it all. It's just part of the thing to just get rid of it all. Anyway, so I did all that, and yeah, the news had found a clip of me and my wife having a joke, right, in a car,
Yeah.
and they've taken this small snippet of it, and because I wiped it all, right, it was all gone.
Yeah.
They've just taken that small section, wrote it in text form, and put it up on this massive like hack job that they did on me. Anyway, so it's left myself for like 2 weeks, right, trying to defend myself on how ridiculous of a claim this was that they're saying that
Yeah,
I
that's
was
you and your wife?
homophobic. You know, look, yeah, that's me and my wife now, yeah. And so
Yeah.
So yeah, so there the video been removed now. I don't have the video anymore to stick it
Yeah.
back up anyway. But yeah, it's a ludicrous claim, right? Because I mean, the leader of my political party is a woman. The manager of my campaign was a woman. I'm married. I have a daughter. Like, there's so many women in my life, right, that control everything. That's just a ludicrous claim. And then like I've learned, we have a Mustang, right? And when they announced that they were allowing gay people to get married, all of our friends rung up and like, can we borrow your Mustang, right? And so I lent our car to some gay couples to go and get married, right? And then all this come up and they were like, what is this crap, Yeah, and so I found, and it's difficult. So I didn't apologize, right? I'm not saying sorry for something I never intended to offend people with, right? It was on the
You
internet for
actually
like
apologized?
5, 6. Like, no, I didn't apologize, right? Because
You
it
didn't?
was up there for
Good.
like 6 years, right? It was on there. No one ever had a problem with anything that was on there. No one said anything to me, nothing, all right? And then they go and hack job it like this, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, it wasn't your, the person that you would think would have a problem with it, right? Your gay couples and whatever. It was all these people that weren't gay that were coming up and had an issue with it on their behalf, right? And that's one thing I really hate, is people being offended on other people's behalf.
Oh, I know. Pet peeve.
Yeah. So anyway, it took a couple of weeks of my time, right, to sort this out. But eventually, and it was very dishonest the way that Current Affair dealt with it. Right.
Oh, no
And anyway,
shit.
so I rung up Pauline and I said, look, just been told that I was on a Current Affair. Oh, at the time I was playing Two Up, right? They did it on Anzac Day. They put it out. So I was at the pub playing Two Up with some friends, and then I get a phone call that's, oh, you're on the TV, And I said, is it good? And they said, no, it's not good. And I said, well, record it. So they recorded it and sent it to me, and I rung Pauline, and she said, look, mate, they've been attacking me since day one. Right? And she said, what you got to remember is that you're a first-time candidate, you've got no money, you've got no staff, you've got no experience. There's about 1,500 candidates in the country at the moment. Why the hell are they focused on you? Right?
Mm-hmm.
She said, you've got them scared. That's what it is. You've got them scared, and I selected you in that seat to do that for a reason. Now go out and do your work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that was it. That's what she said. And so I just went, well, if that's Pauline's take on it, right, bang, I'm going to get stuck into it. So
For sure.
yeah.
Well, something
This is
else
what's
that
life.
something else I liked that I saw in the media was the very sad story about those children that were killed, those Lebanese children. And
Oh,
you,
yeah.
it is horrific. It's extremely sad. And in fact, there's like 2 degrees of separation for me because I know a guy who knows them. He's been interviewed by my friend Tim. And
Yeah.
and there are a lot of fake charities, but you were the one who decided to actually go out of your way and do a genuine one, a real fundraiser for them. That was very kind of you to do that. What made you decide to do that?
Yeah. So, well, I just felt so hopeless, I guess, when I heard the
It is.
news
Like,
and
what
they
did
would,
you do?
and I felt my heart break, right? Like, this is a good Christian family, right? This is,
They are.
such a good man, Danny, the father. He's just a beautiful human being, and I couldn't have, you wouldn't imagine it happening to anyone, but for it to happen to his family, like, it's just heartbreaking. And I was like, well, I'm in the middle of the bush. I can't see him right now. I've got work commitments and whatnot. So, bang, I was like, well, what can I do, right? Get some cash together. So I put the thing up and I started pushing it around, right? And it started to make a lot of momentum. And then the
Which is
scammers
good.
got onto it, right? The scammers started using Layla's name, the mother's name, to open up fundraisers, right? And so everybody just stopped giving money to the cause altogether. So it lost a lot of momentum, which was really disappointing because we still got together about like $8,000 or something, which we're gonna. I'm just waiting for the Facebook fundraiser to clear it. Right, it's ended a few days ago, and they've got to wait 5 days, I guess, and then they clear the money and they send it through. So then I'll send it down and to Danny and Layla, and they can decide what they want to do with it. But yeah, it was a heartbreaking. It was a heartbreaking thing to see.
Do you know what was more heartbreaking? Was to discover that the family prayed for the man who killed their children, and they said that they have only love for him and only forgiveness for him, and that can only really be displayed with true faith in Christ, I believe. I don't think a normal atheist would have that type of forgiveness.
I mean, it's what separates Christianity from the other faiths, isn't it? Is the ability to forgive, right? I mean, it's very unique to Christianity. It's not that eye and karma and that sort of thing. It's that forgiveness is what separates Christianity from everything else. And I mean, personally, I'm not a religious person, but
That's fair.
it really had made me a good hard look at things when I went down there about the value of because the Lebanese Christian community is such a solid community, right? Like, and Australia has really lost that community spirit, and to go down and to see that still alive and well in the Lebanese community that's inside Australia, right? Like that bond, we've lost that societal bond. And it was really unique experience to see that and to see it, everyone having that common ground, right? That faith that everybody united under that banner, under that cross, and it was an inspiration thing to see. If you don't have a common religion, you don't have a common language, you don't have common ancestry. I mean, what do you have that's in common? Do you know what I mean? And that's where your societal bonds, they start to break. That's where they start to break down. That's right. But you have those commonalities. We have the same language and you have a similar religion and whatever, and it brings you together. It really does.
Yeah. It does, and that's why it was such a tragedy, but at the same time there was still a level of beauty in it because we don't teach people to forgive anymore.
the whole country could learn a lot from Layla, Danny Abdullah. Yeah, they really just that at a time when he should have stood there by all rights and let go of his faith, you know, and hated on the world and hated on everybody and he had every reason to unleash the morning after on the news. And
but he didn't.
You know, he didn't. He said that, you know, preach a message of love and understanding and to love your children because you never know when it's the last day. And I mean, that was his message to the world 12 hours after his children were killed by a guy who was drunk, speeding, right? Like, I've never seen anything like it, you know. It's not often that the community gets exposed to those type of people anymore. Good, really good people, you know.
Maybe that's something God, whether I know you don't believe in God, but maybe that was something God wanted to occur.
Look, I mean,
as in for you personally, as in he wanted to plant that seed of like he wants you to be like, wow, look, yeah.
Look, absolutely. I mean, I really, like I said, after that horrific week, and you know, even afterwards, there's not a day goes past that I don't think about what that family's going through right now.
Yeah.
And this strength and unity, and it has really put a seed in my brain. You know.
Oh, that's good. Maybe you'll become a Christian. We can talk a little bit.
I do.
Mm-hmm. Go.
Look, I'm not ignorant to.
So you're not an atheist?
To the faith. I have. Look, I don't know, and I don't think that anybody knows, right? What I don't like is the fact that.
I know there is a God.
Be born on. Yeah, well, you may be born on this side of the world, and you're so sure that your God is the right God, right? And that you go to the other side of the world, and all these people believe that their God is the right God. Did they ever stop to think they're all talking about the same God, right? It's just different ways of accessing God that everybody disagrees with, you know? And the Christianity, right, and the Muslim faith, it breaks from the same family, right? That's what they're face of Abraham, right?
Yeah, look at you.
Isaac,
you said Abraham.
Isaac and Ishmael, when they split, one was the daughter of Sarah, and one was the daughter of the maid.
Hagar.
Hagar, and then you've got the Muslims spring off one way, and the Christians spin off the other. So it's just a family feud that's got out of hand, totally out of hand for the last, you know.
And actually,
5,000 years.
The Jews are related to the Muslims. They're cousins. Like they have, if you test their mitochondrial DNA, they're related.
Of course they're cousins. They have the same father. Right?
Well, that's the thing, but they have so much hatred for one another. It's really, really sad. And these Maronite Lebanese family that had their children taken away from them, because they're not Muslim, they're Christian, or they're, what's the word, Maronites. Maronite is like another word for Catholic.
Yeah, they're Catholic. Yeah.
They're Catholic, and everyone knows I'm critical of Catholicism and that I don't consider it holy Christianity, but that's irrelevant. The point is that they showed Christianity, they showed love, and they don't hate this man that killed half of their children. Like they had 8 kids, now they're down 3 kids, or they're down 4 kids, and all they had was love.
Well,
like
they had 6 children, so they're down.
They have 6 left?
3. Yeah, they had 6 children total. And
so I thought they had 8 total. So they're like, okay. Well, whatever. The point is they lost children and they're forgiven. So.
Yeah. And I mean, look, and like their children are, if there is God, their children are up there, right? That's where their children are right now. They're beautiful children, and they believed as strongly as their parents did in the faith, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I can see the merit behind it. I can see the merit behind religion, right? Like it's a bond, it's a solid bond, right? And it has shaped Western civilization, right? Is based off the basis of the Christian faith. Right? If it wasn't there, the Ten Commandments, right? Most of our laws are based off it.
Would you
It's a
agree?
fundamental building block of Western civilization.
Yes, I was just about to ask you that. Would you agree that Christianity is the foundation? Because most people who don't have a religious base, which is fine, people don't need to believe in God, but even Mark Latham, who is an atheist, acknowledges the benefits that Christianity brings to society as opposed to, say, Islam, which, you know, I know you and I are friends with Emma Eros, but she and I have had many a conversation about how I don't like Islam, and she obviously is pro it because she's a Muslim. But yeah, like, don't you think Christianity
Look, Christianity is
is the
extremely
foundation of
important.
every Western society? Don't you think?
It was a building block of it, right? And to deny that is to just deny history and reality.
Yes,
And
it is.
you know,
We agree.
it was it was spread, and the Christian faith kept Western civilization bonded together whilst it spread around the world, right? Now we've been indoctrinated with all this leftist propaganda, and the first thing to do when you want to break it down is you need to break down the institutions that are holding the thing together, right? Marriage, you need to break down the family, you need to infiltrate the school system, because if you want to infiltrate the children's mind, you've got to do it when they're young, right? So you need to break all this apart. And that's what we've witnessed, right? The destruction of the building blocks of Western civilization for this so-called progressive movement that is actually regressive. That's the strange thing, you know, that they want free speech when it suits you, when you want to stop the war in Vietnam, but now you want to stop free speech, right? You want to stop free speech because it doesn't suit your current political agenda.
But they'll regret it.
What's that?
The left will regret it once free speech is gone, which Australia never actually had in practice. They will regret it. They will realize how far they've come, and that they can't even say, "Oh, that girl looks nice in that dress," because oops, that wasn't a girl in a dress; it was a man in a dress, and all these little loopholes. One day we're going to be so far gone that we're not allowed to speak, and the left will regret what they have done easily.
Oh, absolutely. So they call them the Stalin called them the useful idiots, right? They use these people to get the job done, right? To push the agenda. The low level and the mid level people, right? That infiltrate the institutions, the professors, the people that can invoke change and get people to rally behind them, teachers and that. And once they get through and get the change over the line, they're the first people to go, right? Because they are the people that that are able to rally people together, and they are the people that are most disenfranchised once the movement takes place, and it's not what they thought. You know.
Can you see that question on the screen?
One question will we know throughout the major parties so they get rid of the pink mafia. One nation brought Fraser Anning's domain names before the last election. Look, I don't know any of this internal party stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm just putting it up so that people can see that
so I don't
I'm letting their questions be seen.
Yeah, so I don't mind him asking this stuff, but I just don't have any internal party dealings, right? I can't speak on behalf of the party either, because I can speak on behalf of what I did in my seat. But as far as what the politicians now and what the head office is doing, you just have to ask them. Now, I don't know who brought what names, and I have no idea about all that stuff.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, so,
if people have more questions, you can ask. I'm still going to ask them questions in the meantime. I was going to ask you, what are you politically, personally? Because some people are commenting on the big A in the background, so they know that you are probably formerly an anarchist. But what are you personally? Are you a conservative? Are you lean left, right? Go.
I addressed this. I have a tattoo on my chest with a similar symbol. So I just this that was one of the first. If you can probably type in Stuart Bonds anarchist symbol or something, and a newspaper article will pop up. Now it was the first thing. Yeah, it was within, I think, in the Newcastle Herald, the local paper. They rung me up and they were like, "We found this picture of you online where you're half naked, and you've got this anarchist symbol, right? And it's a bit odd that a political person running for a political party would have an anarchist symbol on it because they want to just tear the world down, right?" Well, that's not what anarchists mean, right? You have the anarchists that do want to tear it down, the leftist Antifa type that just want to rip the system down, bring in their socialist revolution. But you know, the real meaning of the word anarchy, that people should look it up, right? It's the non-aggression principle, right? Just allowing people to live freely without using force against them. Right? And I just thought that is a beautiful saying, right? Is live and let live, right? Non-aggression principle. It's very fundamental. You know, I have no problem with people retaliating to violence, but to initiate force, that is what a massive problem. We spend all our time telling kids not to hit each other, right? So we've got to teach it to our children. We should learn it as adults.
Absolutely. Here's a question. Go ahead.
One nation controlled opposition that was set up in Liberal Party offices. Is it? No. So it's perceived that One Nation votes with the Liberal Party more than the Labor Party by, you know, some sort of deals, right? Now, I know enough to know that that's not true, right?
Cool.
That the reason that they vote more with the Liberals is you have to vote one way or the other, right? You're either vote yes to something or no to something. Now, Labor and the Greens come up with a lot more ridiculous shit, right, than what the Liberal Party do. So the fact that they vote, I mean, have a look at this union integrity bill that just went through, right? Everybody had it pinned that Malcolm Roberts and Pauline Hanson were going to vote to bring in this thing and screw the unions, right? They voted against it, right? Much to the shock of everybody, including the Liberal Party, they voted against it because the bill would have screwed over the working class people and the unions, right? So they voted against it. Now, nobody mentioned that one of the biggest platform bills that the Liberal Party's put forward, One Nation voted against it, right? So it's not a one-for-one. It's not 100%. They don't always go with the Liberal Party. The Liberal Party is just a bit more sane at the moment. That's all it is.
Yeah, I suppose. Don't you think, though, that if the Liberal Party were a true conservative...
The Liberal Party, you've got to remember, the Liberal Party threw Pauline Hanson out, right? And then had her locked up, right?
Yeah.
Put in jail.
Pauline
Hanson is
I
and
had
then
my
they
own
disbanded
Liberal
the party.
Party.
They destroyed it. And then they let her out, right? They let her out of jail, right? And admitted that there was no reason to lock her up in the first place. And then she had to restart her party. Now, you talk about a patriot. Now, that woman has done a phenomenal amount of work and effort to continue to run. So to say that this was set up by the Liberal Party, right? Even though they put her in jail, you know, she has no affiliation. If anything, she should be voting, if you went off that, she should be voting with Labor out of spite and hate for the Liberal Party.
But she doesn't.
But she doesn't. She doesn't. She votes the opposite way. She votes with the Liberal Party because most of the more sane policies, now that could change at any stage. These people are insane. Right? They flip-flop on policies, right? So Pauline, she told me, I have a simple equation. Is this going to be better for the country or worse? Right? That's the equation that I go off, and I don't always make the right decision. Right? I don't always, but I try. I do my best. But people are in front of their mind. So people can believe that or not believe it. Right? And that's what she's told me.
Well, my issue with the with the Liberal Party is that they claim to be conservative, but like they've brought about every law that is anti-conservative. So, like I don't know yet. I'm yet to. Are you a conservative?
I would say that I have more conservative views on things for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, because the Liberal Party brought about the abortion laws in the 1960s. So killing babies was a conservative party that did it. And then we have gay marriage, which I know you're not a Christian, but I, as a Christian, don't. I'm happy for gays to have a union recognized at a legal capacity. I just don't think it should be called marriage. And that's where I'm a little bit different to most Christians, where I at least say, yeah, let them have something, but just don't call it the word marriage. But again, it
Yes,
was.
I mean, I look, I took a little bit of issue with that myself. Like, I didn't too much care that they have their, like, I don't care at all, right? I
No,
want
but just
them
don't use
to
our word.
be
Don't use the
free
word marriage.
to do that side. But I felt like it was the word marriage was being hijacked more out of spite, right? More out of like, we're doing it because obviously not everybody, but the you know, your Greens and whatever, right? We're pushing it more as a political agenda, more as an FU, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the you know, the religious institutions, and I just felt like it got rushed through a little bit. The protections
Definitely,
weren't
all
put in
right.
place as religious freedoms, right? And people being able to say, I don't agree with your decision, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to agree with everything. And as far as being able to say, no, I don't want you to use my venue because I'm highly religious, right? You should have that right.
Absolutely, we
Anyway,
agree.
yeah, I just felt that side was overlooked. But as far as I don't care that they can now get married at all, right? It doesn't impact on my life at all. I've given my car to gay couples, right? Absolutely doesn't worry me whatsoever. It hasn't caused any massive effects on my life, right?
It's the propaganda surrounding it that bothers me. The imposition of it in the education and judicial system.
Mm.
Do you want to
Totally
answer the
not.
question?
Yeah, I think Pauline would have her back for sure. Yeah, yeah, have her back. Yeah.
Does anyone have any
Yeah.
more questions like that?
There's some interesting characters down there in the Senate, and it's just a constant battle back and forth between. It's the war of ideas, right? It's a great arena where, you know, we've got out of the pits and off the battlefields, and we now fight it out on the floor of Parliament. I mean, it's a much more civilized way of doing things. Yeah, but
Exactly.
yeah, it's So with our
Turn sideways.
actually, can you turn sideways for me, please, bro?
Why? Well, they want to see your profile? I don't know what that means. I think they wanted to see your nose. I think it was a Jewish thing, but I'm not really sure. I'm just guessing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, look, I ran. I think that, you know, the question comes up a bit is, am I going to run again? I mean, it takes
Would
a
you?
huge amount of effort. People do not understand how much effort it takes to do this, right? And to do it well. Now, just for the record, like, One Nation's never won a lower house seat, right? Hasn't won one. They are so incredibly hard to get if you're not one of the major parties, right?
Mm.
And I got within a couple of percentage points of, like, probably, I think the Nationals finished in front of me by 1,800 votes. Now, had I finished in front of the Nationals, I would have won, right? I think I
Wow.
had 20. I think I had 21.9% on the night, and the Nationals had 21. I had 21.8, and the Nationals had 21.9 on the night.
That's not bad.
So it was looking at the time. Yeah, the Labor Party had about 30%. So the Labor Party in this seat had the worst result that it had ever had in any election.
Mm.
Like, in this seat, right? 37.5% first preference votes. That was the lowest that it had ever got. Out of the there's some more interesting stats, I guess. So out of the top 46 worst performing booths for the Labor Party, 20, so top 46 booths, 27 of them were in the Hunter, were in this seat. So you're talking, my seat has 56 booths alone. So there's 150 seats. So there's probably about 4,000 voting booths. And so for Labor's worst results, out of 4,000 voting booths, the 27 of them were in the Hunter Valley, right? And the top 10 worst performing voting booths, 7 of them were in the Hunter Valley. So we absolutely smashed them, right? Like, I don't know, you probably can't see the the yellow
I can see all the little letters. Yeah, the yellows. Yeah.
All the yellow marks, right? They're all Hunter Valley, right? 4,000 voting booths or so. Hunter Valley's all the yellow ones. So we did extremely well. Like one of the seats, let's see what one in Greta had 27% swing against Labor, right? Crazy. So to say that you'll never compete with the major parties, well, sorry, pal, but we're up there, right?
According against all the other
in the election preferences. Now, I'd like to.
Can you address that, please? That sounds pretty shitty.
I don't know.
That's true.
So I can only address my seat and what happened in our seat, and our seat was strictly done off what's going to be better for the people in the area. Like I think we preferenced Labor fourth, right? And that was because we should have preferenced Labor last if we were just concerned about winning the seat. We preferenced them fourth because the Animal Justice Party, the Socialist Alliance, all these other crazy seats were running as well. So we didn't want to direct any preferences to those parties whatsoever. So we put Labor in fourth, right?
Okay.
So I don't know what, you know. Yeah. So we did do quite well. So it was, you know, our seat was in doubt for 3 weeks, right? They didn't have an official decision for 3 weeks on this seat. It was in doubt the whole time. So you got to think, like, Joel Fitzgibbon is the guy in our area, right? He's Shadow Agricultural Minister. He's been a Defence Minister. He's in 25 years on the front, 18 years on the front bench of the Labor Party, 25 years in the Labor Party as a total, right? He's ran, something like 7 or 8 elections, right? He's been in 8 elections. So the guy knew what he was doing, and he nearly lost his seat to me, right? With no money, no experience. Like, they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in this seat, and they nearly lost it. So, look, I hope that I've been able to, instigate some change or put a rocket up some people's asses that go sit there and go, oh, I'm not going to have any effect. Like, I can't do anything, you know, the system's rigged against me. Well, it is, right? But if you've got that defeated attitude, you're never going to get anything done, right? God doesn't help you unless you help yourself, right? It's get off your ass. That's one thing the Conservative side is bad at, is getting up and doing something, right?
I agree. The
Conservatives
have a lot of
going to a rally, right? Donate to a party that shares your views. Share some content, right? That's one thing that we are, the Conservative side of the argument is terrible at. The left has us covered there, big time.
Agree. Can you see that question?
John Claude.
I don't even know what he was supposed anymore. A bottle of him.
I think the Bloodsport. Bloodsport was a good one. A good old school flip. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
So I kick him off a cliff. Now, look, I mean,
I think Fraser Anning reacted appropriately. I disagree.
Yeah, when Fraser Anning was assaulted, because that's what it was, right?
Yes,
Fraser
agree.
Anning had it done to him, it's considered assault. So if it's done to Fraser Anning, right, it's still assault. So now it's very difficult at the time when someone smashes an egg on yourself to ask them for the ID at the time, right? If you're going to commit adult crimes, you've got to be expected to be treated like an adult at the time you do it.
And yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So, no one wants to hit kids, but if you're a kid and you're going to do that stuff, you should wear a giant shirt that says, I'm a kid, and hand over your ID very quickly, right? Otherwise, you're going to get smacked in the mouth for sure.
Bloody hell.
What I miss is an anarchism. Did he used to be, or is he still an anarchist? Oh, you got to clear it up before that. I like the use of the non-aggression principle, the side that the anarchists use, and that was one of the reasons why I named the tattoo parlor after it and put the tattoo on my chest. But do I believe that the world could survive with zero government, zero control? No, I don't. Maybe we may develop into that in the future, right? We might move away from the government systems that we have, but at the moment, it's incomprehensible to think that we would ever get to that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Ethno-nationalist. Now, look, I don't like labels, right? I don't really do labels. To tell you the truth, I don't even know really, because everybody uses these terms differently to describe different.
That's true.
things.
Everyone does use the term differently. That's true.
Yeah. So I don't know ethno. So ethnicity would be your race.
Homogeneity. Do you believe in homogeneity and preserving Australia as a white country? I think is partly the point of that.
Well, not as a white country. Like, it doesn't need to be preserved as a white country. What needs to be preserved is the fundamentals of the country, right? The building blocks of the country, the Christian values, right? Whether you're Christian or not, you still hold those similar values, right? Respect for your fellow human being, the right for freedom of speech, right? The good education system that we have, the right for women to be able to walk around wearing what they want, right? We need to maintain that, right? And if that's nationalistic,
that is nationalistic.
But to turn around now, you don't look like your standard Caucasian white person there. So I don't know what your nationality is that your parents would have been, right? But I guess that a ethno-nationalist might consider you not. I don't know. Where's your family's background? Are they South American?
I can tell you this. Yes, wow, you've done well. Yeah, I'm half Colombian. Well done. Yeah. Half
so but you
half Spanish.
Yes. Where you come from is totally irrelevant to me, right? Your family's background is absolutely irrelevant. What is important is that you share similar values to what I do and what I perceive as the country, right? And that's the conservative side of it. That's what we want to conserve, right?
I agree with your point, which is surprising to people.
Yeah.
The reason I agree with you point is people's values change. What about those women that are here in this country and they're white Australian women, and then they go off and they're purely Aussie women or whatever, and then they go off and marry someone who happens to be an ISIS person, and now they can't come back to Australia. Ideals and ideas change, whereas if you preserve an entire homogenous group, say white Caucasian men and women, there's less likelihood for that to happen. I know, and it's weird that I'm saying that as a first generation Australian, but I see the value, and this is why sometimes I'm perceived by some as, I think, a Nazi, because I see the value in white nationalism, but I don't call myself a white nationalist because I'm not, and I can't be because I am mixed, and they do reject me, some of them, not all of them. But yeah, you see what I mean? Ideas and values change. So then what do you do?
It's a ridiculous term. Like I can't see, in a world where everything is so blended now, right? And the races and religions and we live in a mixed society, right? Like,
we do,
like it or not, right? Like it or not, you're never going to go back to having a white Australia, right?
No, we're not.
And
That's accurate.
yeah, but what you can work towards is preserving what you've got here now. Now, the arguments behind that obviously are that if you have people born today, you know that in 6 years you need to build, you need to have enough spots for schools for them, right? Because you know how many people are born. If you import a heap of 6-year-olds, right, you immediately overload your infrastructure, right, straight away. And so when you do that with adults, right, you bring these people in, you have immediately overloaded your infrastructure for your roads, you force up housing prices, you take away university spots, you take away jobs, right? Now these, regardless of what these other people believe, right, it is becoming a problem, right? We're running out of water, right? That has been a huge problem. I mean, it's rained, thank God, it's rained, but we have not kept up with our infrastructure, right? Now that is a sensible way to approach this issue because it is provable, it's a real problem, and it's really affecting everybody, right? But to try and block people on because they're of Asian origin or because they're of, um, Sudanese or whatever, right? It's a losing argument, right? You're going to lose all the time when you battle in that way
What
because
about?
there are some extremely good Sudanese people and there's extremely
Good.
good Asian people, right? But if you're going to battle that these Sudanese don't believe what we believe, it's a ridiculous argument. It's a losing argument, right? You can argue that how much of a good thing is a good thing. Like, they always throw out the thing that, you get to experience more foods and more culture and more. Okay, that's fine, but everything in moderation, right? At what point do you overload your system, right? When the country is not the country of origin is not the country of origin anymore. You've changed it so much that it doesn't resemble your country anymore. If we all pack up and move to Japan, right, it doesn't make us Japanese. It just makes Japan less Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to have a look at what we're doing to our
culture,
to our
why isn't Sudan, Nigeria, Israel, Japan, why aren't these countries imposed with this concept of multiculturalism? Why is it incumbent only upon us in the Western world?
Because we're the only one that gives, right? We're the only one that cares. And it's the button that always pays, right? Racism, 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 right? You do that to the Saudis.
We're the only ones accepting people.
That's right. Like you have somebody saying that crap in Saudi Arabia, running around banging racism at the sheiks, and that person won't be a problem anymore. You'll never see him again, right? They are using the good things about Western civilization, your free speech. They're using it to push a socialist agenda, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're using tech companies, they're using whatever avenue that they can, right, to push this crap. And that's why we need to push back. We need more people on the front lines pushing back against this. Absolutely non-violently, 100%, right? Using good arguments, logic, reason, evidence, right? Using those fundamentals to push back.
What would you do if when you woke up in a week's time, there were no blonde hair, blue-eyed people left, no Caucasian people left, and you were the only person among a sea of Asians, blacks, and Arabs, let's say? Would that concern you? If you just ran, and not because those people are bad, but just because, oh wow, I'm the only white person left. I feel like
theoretically,
theoretically that would. It would start on me if I was the only Latina left.
Yeah, I mean, but reality is that's not going to happen. But I personally,
that's going to happen to white people easily.
I took my wife and 9-month-old at the time baby to Jerusalem, and we jumped
Yeah,
in a car and we drove into Palestine, right? And we went to Bethlehem, and we went, and then I went to Jordan, and I went to see
beautiful.
Petra. I mean, so
Right.
I've been into some extremely isolated areas with a blonde-haired, blue-eyed child, right? And the world is not how it is perceived on the media, right? There are bad areas in the world, especially in that part of the world. But it's not all bad. Now, I have respect for the Muslim faith, but keep it. It has its area, right?
Sure.
It has its area in the Middle East. Now, it has fought the fight over there. It has won, right? It's dominated the Christian faith to the point where it has pushed it back into a little pocket inside Lebanon.
Bethlehem.
Right? And there's
that's being taken by Muslims, and that's sad. That's like where Jesus was born.
And you've got Jerusalem. You've got Israel. You've got these little pockets left, right? Now I don't mind people of different faiths coming to this country whatsoever, right? But I do have a problem if they're doing it for expansionist purposes. Right?
Oh, of course, enclave stuff.
To expand to remove what's left of the Western civilization, because this is as dangerous as socialism, right? You can see the results of it all around the world, and we don't want that. Do I think it's an imminent threat? I really don't think it at the moment is an imminent threat. Is it a threat in Europe? Absolutely. Much more of a bigger problem over in Europe than it is currently in Australia.
It is
the benefits are
right. It is bigger in Europe. The problem
one
is
thing the Liberals did well was they strengthened up the borders, right? They really did strengthen up the borders. That was one thing that I will praise the Liberal government for. But yeah, there's a lot of people coming in legally that, as I said, is overloading the infrastructure, right? We need to sort that out. That's a congestion, right? Pollution, house prices, school sizes, like daycare, because it's $150 a day to send a kid to daycare, right? That's because we've had an explosion, right? So we need to get that under wraps, right? And we One Nation have policies around all that stuff. I agree with them all, obviously, and yeah.
Do you believe Islam is right about women? Don't answer. I'm just being mean. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to trap you.
Yeah. It is. That is an absolute mousetrap. That one.
I know, it's funny.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know the mental meltdown that you can have thinking about that.
I thought it was awesome when the left saw it and they were like, "But wait, we love Muslims."
Yeah.
What do I do?
They just
malfunction.
They demanded that the poster was banned from campuses. That's what they did, right? So they just immediately just went.
But that proves that they know the ideology opposing their own mind.
Cogs just jammed up, right? They just froze up and went. So yeah, it's amazing what those little
it's funny
memes can do.
I know.
Your favourite media, both mainstream and alternative, Australian, international. I watch a lot of podcasts, right? So I don't do media really.
So who are your podcasts?
I do watch. I do watch the odd Sky News clip.
Sure. Yeah.
The odd, I don't mind. What's his name? Alan. What's old Alan's name?
Alan Jones. Alex Jones.
Alan Jones. Yeah, Alan Jones. I don't mind a bit of Alan Jones every now and then, but I don't religiously watch it, right? It's something that pops up on my feed. Paul Murray, I watch a little bit of him. But yeah, it's mainly podcasts. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Power now. My view on nuclear power personally is that I just burn coal until, it's not viable anymore, because we have so much of it, right? And there's been problems with nuclear power before, and I just think, why do it? expensive to get started. You need to build it close to an ocean, right? Because if you run out of water, it melts down. It's a huge problem. It uses a heap of bulk amount. It uses about 20 times the amount of fresh water to run it, right? So they're very, you're going to huge dams, huge infrastructure. They cost a massive amount of money to get started. I just think it's a waste of money, right? There's a reason why Japan went away from nuclear power back to coal. But if they're going to push this green revolution, right? The only way they can do it is by using nuclear power, right? Now, I'll agree with that. If it's going to go down that road, that's the way they need to look at it. But the Greens push back on that as well. Now, Mark Latham is a big proponent for it, and he says, let's do the studies, right? Let's do the investigation. So that's their view. Let's have a look into it.
Absolutely.
Weigh the options up. So Labor, Liberal Greens voted on a motion to ban nicotine imports for vapes. What's One Nation's stance? Well, my personal stance is you should support your local vape shop, right? And
awesome. It was like an infomercial. You had it ready.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I mean, look, definitely,
That's good.
They are obviously going to need to do some studies into vapes because they haven't been around long enough to do the long-term studies. But yeah, I mean, it gets you off. I mean, it's a freedom thing, right? Why should I not be able to smoke this vape, right? Why should someone be able to force me to smoke dangerous tobacco that they know is dangerous, right? And tax me a fortune for it when I got this. I don't want to smoke cigarettes, right? So it's a freedom thing for me. You should be free to smoke a vape with nicotine in it.
Would you say the old Labor Party was both nationalist and socialist?
No, they were communists. The Labor Party split off many years ago. They split right down the centre, and because they realised that they'd been infiltrated by communists. Now you can Google history of the Labor Party and you can look at all this, and you'll find it's all true. Now the MPs at the time sacrificed their jobs in the Labor Party, right, to pretty well put an end to the communist branch of the Labor Party, right, to stop it getting into power because they seen the devastation happening overseas, and they split their branch off so that the Labor Party couldn't make government. So really, not enough ever been acknowledged to the people that sacrificed themselves in their parliamentary position back in the 50s, right? But the Labor Party that we ended up with is the communist branch of the Labor Party, right?
Yeah,
the other Labor Party branch got off, right? So that's why we have the unions. The unions are massive. They started up, the big Russian Revolution, right? And it changed the world. Now, that was a nationalist. That was a socialist, not like communist as you're going to get. Yes, absolutely. Pauline is the biggest proponent for the Bradfield scheme. I've been banging on it for 23 years. I'll just do a couple more questions there, and then I got to go because I just realised I've been on here for an hour and 10 minutes.
It was going to be an hour.
Yeah. What's that?
It was always going to be an hour. It's the additional questions is just a bonus. But yeah, you cut it off when you need. I know you have a little girl. You probably want to read a bedtime story.
I'll put another 5 into it.
Okay, another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Another 5 minutes.
We'll go another 5. Yeah.
Okay.
So would it be sensible to use gas for electricity production and keep coal when the oil runs out to produce fuel? Well, look, the oil's not going to run out. They've now got the shale oil. There's plenty of other ways that they can extract oil from the earth. They've now got the tube when they drill in. Now they drill and go around on angles to suck out all the remaining oil. shale oil, the oil sands, right? There's bulk oil around now. The threat of peak oil is pretty well subsided. So don't worry about the oil side of it, right? Now, there is coal that runs from Wollongong to the top of North Queensland, right? At current mining rates, there's probably about 1,500 years worth of coal mining, right? To go between here and there. We will never dig up all the coal that's available in this country, right? It's impossible. So we won't run out of coal. Gas, now, if they want to build power stations that run on gas, go ahead, right? Find the land, put a tender in, you convince people to sign up to your gas, sign their electricity up to your gas program, and you open up a gas power station. The reason why they're not doing it is because it can't compete with the coal at the moment. Coal, unfortunately, is so efficient. Well, Mark Latham moved to federal parliament. Now, I've never spoken to Mark about it. I think he set off to go back to state parliament on a mission, and he's doing it, right. Like, he is the loudest voice in state parliament by far. Absolutely. He's I like Mark. He is. I have learned so much from watching that man. I really have. Yeah. Are you just running under the label? No, I'm a member. Well, I've been a member for a couple of years of One Nation. Look, I'm a supporter of, 99% of what they do, right? There's some stuff that obviously that we don't see eye to eye on everything. But the reason why I ran with One Nation was because I really believe that they are the best thing for the country. Misunderstood, misrepresented, misinterpreted, the ultimate underdog. It would have been easier if I ran for someone else, right? But I didn't do it because I believe in the One Nation cause. I believe in Pauline. I believe in Malcolm. And they don't want me to give up all my personal views on things, right? That's not who they are. It's not how they run things. So, who do you say, throw me a fucking bone here, please?
I think that's from, I think it's because he's implying that you look like Dr. Evil. Throw me a freaking bone here. Dun, dun.
I read that, so that'll come up that I swore somewhere.
I think he wrote freaking. You said fucking. He wrote freaking.
Yeah, I know. I only just reread it then. So.
That's your own fault, dude. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you go. You have a little girl to read a bedtime story to.
Yeah, I do. Actually, that's exactly why I've got to go. So
no, that's you're a good day.
I really do. I appreciate the chat, yeah. And look, keep fighting a good fight. And like I said, if you weren't concerning anybody, right, you weren't raising any controversial issues, nobody would pay any attention to you, right? Especially the media. They absolutely would leave you alone. The reason why they're doing it is because you're talking to people and they don't like it, right? And you're reaching out and they want to control the media space, right? They don't want any common sense. They don't want any Christians or any conservatives in their space, right? And you're in there. So just keep doing what you're doing and just, give people a chance, as you're doing, to represent themselves and their views instead of telling them what they represent, So I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. No doubt we will be talking again in the future.
No worries. I would love to meet you.
And I'm wearing a suit, hopefully.
You look very nice. Yeah. Very handsome.
No problem. Thank you, dear.
No worries. Well, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. If you want to tune out, you just got to leave studio.
No worries. Thank you.
All right. Bye. I'm not going to be on for much longer. I'm so tired. My eyes are sore. Just to say, guys, that next week my guest is Anthony Dillon. Anthony Dillon is a part white, part Aboriginal activist. He speaks sense. He's probably like the male version of Jacinta Price. And so I'll have him on next week. And that'll be really fun. And yeah, I didn't have any time to straighten my hair or to dry it after I got out of the shower. So this is my after shower hair. I'm very sorry, everyone. Someone said it looked like sex hair. It ain't sex hair. This is my real hair with nothing, no product in it. Anyway, I'm glad you guys liked that interview. Thank you. Thanks, Margaret, for. I don't know what's going on with your internet or with the moderator access. That's weird. But well done, Neil. I'm very proud of you. Yeah, Anthony Dillon, he'll be my guest next week, so that's exciting. And then the week after that, I may or may not, because it might not happen. But does everyone remember a young lady who was being bullied by the media for being a 1950s housewife? Anyway, so that's my guest next week, Anthony Dillon. It's not better than straight hair. I look far better with straight hair. Anyway, all right, bye everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in, watching my show, and also for tuning into my stupid random live shows, because I know they're dumb. And if anyone wants to see the 3-hour one that I did, it's up on my BitChute account. I know I also told all of you that Bearing told me last week when he was on my live stream that he would absolutely come on. And he just said all I had to do was email him, and he didn't respond. But that's because he's busy. And I've been annoying him ever since, like, hey, come on, because I'm very persistent. And he obviously showed up again in my chat today to say, don't worry, dear, I've seen your 3 emails. I'll get back to you soon. So eventually I'll have Bearing on. He's cool. I like him. He's actually my favorite YouTuber next to probably. Well, he was my favorite Australian YouTuber. I prefer him to Gary Awesome, just because I don't know. I like the bear and I like the humor that he has. But yeah, so he was one of my favorite YouTubers. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. I'm a little bit. My eyes are so sore. I have this light in my face because this room is so wooden. Like it's dark, so I put a lamp right in my face. So anyway, I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. I was going to say that my uncut interview, the one where Lana and I are discussing the specifics of the Holocaust, I haven't put that up yet, and I'm not going to put it up on YouTube. It's going to go up on my BitChute account, but as I'm not home, as I'm not in Melbourne, I can't access my terabyte hard drive where I placed it. So when I'm home, which might be next week, I might be going home next week temporarily before coming back to where I am. I will upload that video to BitChute, so it's uncut. It's a BitChute exclusive video, so it'll look the same as the one that's already on my YouTube account. The difference is that there's a whole entire armpits. These are my armpits. Anyway, it'll go up. What am I saying? Sorry, excuse me. I'm struggling with my words. Sorry, I'm really tired. I'm like hangry, but for tiredness. So yeah. So Lana Locktiff and I had a discussion, and I didn't add it to YouTube because I thought it would be too controversial because of the subject, because it's about Hitler and stuff. So that'll be up on BitChute eventually. But YouTube and BitChute aren't working together properly. Usually when you upload something on YouTube, it backs up itself onto BitChute, but it's not working at the moment. They're not corresponding. But I'd comb your black was dry my hair and then straighten it, but I didn't do that. I know I have very Jewish hair. I've always had curly hair. I think most of you know that. I don't think Neil knew that, but my hair is naturally curly. Night, Margaret. Oh yeah, Rational Rise is next. That's true. All right, I'll let you guys go. I'm a pretty terrible driver. I'm a very bad driver. Anyway, oh, I'm so tired. I gotta go. I need Panadol. Oh, I need something for my eyes. My eyes are so sore. They're so big, and so sometimes they get so sore. Alright, guys. Love you guys. God bless you all. Don't forget to put God first. Love you. Bye. End broadcast.